What we measure, we can improve. That's how, as a coach or an English teacher, I find the best ways to help my learners succeed. Things can get tough, and improving isn't easy. The key is to assess the progress they are making, to know what they can do, so I can give feedback that will help build their confidence and keep them motivated. With Cambridge, assessment is integrated with learning, helping me measure and guide my learners' progress, so they learn what they need to succeed. To get the most from every moment, to help their worlds grow. Because Cambridge is where your world grows.
Good afternoon now. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I can see some messages already in the chat. Please let us know where you are based now, where you're joining from, teachers. Good afternoon. Okay, great. If you are based in Mexico, right, let us know which city, which state of Mexico you're visiting from. If you're visiting from another country, from abroad, let us know as well. Okay, city, state, country. Okay, thank you, teachers. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking the time to take these sessions. Okay, so going to get started with this Start with Cambridge session. Okay. Uh, you will be able to refer back to this session, to this recording of this session, okay, by the end of this workshop, all right, so that you get to take a look at the resources and everything we mentioned throughout, okay, for you to use in your classroom. So let me introduce myself, teachers, to begin with. My name is Kevin Carrion Telles. I am a professional learning and development consultant for Cambridge University Press and Assessment. Well, today, of course, we are going to start with Empower Second Edition, okay, and also American Empower Second Edition. All right, let's remember we have both British with these materials, all right? And let's actually check if you're actually using them or you are not, all right? Let's get started with the session. We have just before we go into the topic, just make sure just to point out we are recording this session, all right? So make sure that your audio, that your internet connection is working well. Okay. I'm having a few issues with mine today, but I hope it doesn't really affect the session. And uh, throughout the session, we are going to be using your QR scanner. Okay, so maybe you can have your smartphone with you throughout the session. Actually, starting with this slide in which I'm going to invite you and I want to encourage you to take a look at this podcast we created at Cambridge that is called Grow. So, here you will find different experiences from teachers all around the world, including Mexico, of course, Mexican teachers. Um, you can access it through YouTube, through Spotify, and pretty much any other platform that you're familiar with. Okay, so please make sure you scan this QR code and have a look at this podcast. All right, that I'm sure you will enjoy and you will like. Okay, give me one quick second. One quick second. I can see, just checking in the chat, I can see teachers from Matamoros, Tamaulipas, Toluca, Guerrero. Great. Okay. One second, one second. Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, teachers, for joining. We will be using the chat box a lot this time. All right. Make sure to leave a comment from time to time whenever whenever we have the moment of sharing. All right. So let's get started now with Empower Second Edition and American Empower Second Edition series. Okay. Agenda for this session is basically these 5 points, these 5 moments. Of course, we're going to check a quick overview on what the series is, what it brings to the classroom, some key features that, as we said, key resources you for sure want to try and implement in your class. Then moving on to the components, okay? Which components are you going to find for students and for teachers? And we will end up with our actually really quick unit walkthrough, all right? Our unit walkthrough the series of Empower Second Edition and American Empower Second Edition. And please note that by the end of the session, we are going to have a moment for you to scan a QR code. And actually, my colleague Josadak from Cambridge will also share a link in the chat box for you to get your certificate of attendance. Remember that if you do not register in this link, you will not get your certificate of attendance, okay? Just to point out, remember, we have one registration link for this session, for the Start with Cambridge session, and another one is going to be the one for the certificate, okay? So make sure you register for this link by the end of this session. And we're going to have also a survey link. This will be a feedback for us, a feedback moment for the team of Cambridge who make these sessions possible. So to begin with, all right, let's go into what Empower is. Okay, let's remember this is the second edition. And well, of course, this series is intended for young adults and adult learners, both young adults and adult learners. Let's remember that we have both versions, American and British versions. Both of them have the same number of levels, which is 6 in total, 6 levels, ranging from A1 level to C1 level, according to the Common European Framework of Reference. If we go if we point out the levels for the series, we have the first level we have is A1, then A2, B1, B1 plus, B2, and C1. All right, those are the 6 levels in this series of Empower Second Edition. Now, regarding the number of units we find in the levels, okay, we as I pointed it here, levels A1, A2, and B1, that means levels 1 to 3, they have 12 units. And levels B2, B1 plus, and C1, all right, they only have 10 units. A small difference there. And regarding the number of teaching hours to cover the core material of the series, we consider you might take somewhere around 80 to 90 hours just to cover the core material of the student's book, basically. Okay, but if you make use of the resources that we are going to point out today, all right, you can extend this number of teaching hours up to 120 hours. Okay, so that's it. Okay, let's get started then with what Empower Second Edition brings to the classroom. So let's get started with mentioning the new design, the new images, the new pictures we are going to find at the beginning of each unit, okay? In the unit opener sections, we are going to find these big pictures, okay, that introduce a certain context, that it will pique curiosity from our students, and well, they will get them discussing since the very beginning of the unit, okay? All right, so we can see it is or the images are using this visual literacy. They are very engaging to our students' profile, okay? And connected to this, talking about the design, all right, we are going to find that in the second edition of Empower and American Empower. Of course, the design has been updated. It's a bit more modern. We can see it has a more attractive and fresh look. All right. So just to point out, this is the second edition. All right. So well, we're going to notice the content itself will be very updated. I mean, not only the design has been renewed, but also the content has been updated. Of course, the tasks, some texts, some audios, okay, have been updated, have been modified, okay, to suit our students' interests, current interests. One more thing I want to mention about what informs or some of the pillars, let's say, in this series of Empower Second Edition is it follows or it is informed by what we call at Cambridge the Cambridge English Corpus. Okay, please leave in the chat box if you know or if you had heard of what the Cambridge English Corpus is. Of course, I'm going to say it, but well, just to make sure or just to check if anybody has heard of this term before. The Cambridge English Corpus is a wide collection of common mistakes, let's say, that are made by English learners. Okay, and well, the intention of this collection of common mistakes is to try and avoid them, of course. Okay, so throughout the book, we are going to find these boxes that will try and tackle and will try and avoid these frequently made mistakes by learners. Okay, so well, this is what the corpus is going to help us. Remember, this is a big collection of common mistakes. So in order for students not to commit them anymore. All right, so I can see some messages like, I've never heard of it before. Yes, I am sure of that. Okay, so well, now you know. All right, so what is the Cambridge English Corpus? It's a big database of common mistakes made by English learners. Okay, so that's it. And well, one more thing to point out in the series is it has a particular focus on productive skills. We are going to go back to this whenever we go through the unit walkthrough, okay? But if you remember, there's a lesson, a dedicated lesson for the productive skills, which is lesson C in the series. Okay, we will go back to that point in a few minutes. Okay, but in this in this lesson, you are going to have opportunities, or students will have opportunities to communicate, okay, to use productive, well, to have a productive moment. Okay, now I wanted to start actually with one of the main features that we are going to find in the resources of Empower Second Edition and American Empower Second Edition is about the assessment. In this series, we are going to find two kinds of tests. As you can see, as I'm showing below in the picture I have here, we have, on the one hand, we have unit progress tests. Okay, of course, these are tests that you can download from Cambridge One. And well, of course, they will be evaluating the progress of the students for every single unit. Okay, remember how many units do we have in the series? We can have either 10 to 12, depending on the level. All right, so either 10 to 12 unit progress tests you are going to find in the series. That's on the one hand. Now, on the other hand, we have, just to mention, in unit progress test, they have a focus on the vocabulary, the grammar, and the everyday English. Okay, so those 3 points, like the functional language, let's say. Okay, so those are the things that are covered in the unit progress test. And on the other hand, you have competency tests. These kinds of tests are focused not on the systems like grammar, vocabulary, and functional language. They focus on the skills. All right. So we have sections for the 4 skills: speaking, writing, reading, and listening. All right. So these are competency tests. Something to point out that is very relevant. This is very important to note. the structure, the format of these unit progress tests and competency tests, both, they follow Cambridge English examinations format. Okay, so let's say they are going to find exam style activities, exam style exercises, okay, that the student will need to do. All right. And well, little by little, they will gain this confidence. They will gain this familiarity with the structures of Cambridge English certifications. Okay. So whenever the time comes, right, of them sitting at Cambridge certification, they are more confident. Okay, so that is the intention of having this same format in the unit progress test and the competency tests. All right, that's it. So this part of the assessment is one of the key features I just wanted to mention. That's why I just started with that one. And well, here we can see how the student will see, or sorry, how the teacher will see these assignments. Oh, something to point out, both unit progress test and competency test, the teacher can download the resource from Cambridge One, or the teacher can assign them digitally to the students. Okay, both ways, printed or digital versions. And if you choose, teachers, if you choose, or let's say the benefit of using the digital version is you can have reports. Okay, you can have complete reports on the performance of your group, of your students. So we can see, for example, this is a unit progress test. Okay, it says a first attempt. You can see each section in the unit progress test. We have grammar, vocab, and everyday English, as we said. And well, you can see some recommended practice. Okay, so the tool, actually, Cambridge One platform, will offer a specific section of the digital workbook that the student can go over and do just to revise or just to consolidate that target language that was maybe not perfectly consolidated. All right, so that is one of the advantages of using these digital versions of the unit progress test and the competency test. All right, there you go. Okay. Now I'm going to move on really quickly. Yes, hang on. Give me one moment. Yes, I will zoom out. Oh, that was too much. Yeah. Okay. As I was saying, whenever we do this digital unit progress test, okay, the tool will offer recommended practice for the student to consolidate that target language that was not perfectly consolidated. Okay, that's one of the main benefits of using digital versions. Another point that is very relevant in Empower Second Edition and American Empower Second Edition is the number of photocopiable materials and downloadable materials we have in the series. We are going to find 4 different kinds of photocopiable or downloadable materials. On the left, we can see we have grammar. Okay, so you will have worksheets on grammar, worksheets on vocabulary, worksheets on the section that is called word power at the end of every unit. Okay, and we are going to find also pronunciation worksheets. These ones, or these exercises, are particularly focused, as I said, on the communicative activities. Okay, they are mainly communicative activities. So the students are able to use the target language in this specific context, in a specific situation. All right, so that is, the activities are really good. Maybe you can adapt them somehow if you want, all right? But in general, the activities are ready-made, okay, for you just to check out how to approach them, how to use them in your class, and your students, well, can benefit from these worksheets that are not included in the student's book. These are additional to you. Only the teacher can access these extra worksheets, let's say. Okay, now, give me 1 second. Oh, yes. This point is about a very relevant point as well, is on the reports. Okay. Right now, unfortunately, I'm not going to go through the exact process you would take on the Cambridge One platform, but you can generate reports. Okay, in this in Cambridge One platform, you can generate reports, of course, and something good about these reports is they can give you, the teachers, it can give you an estimated Common European Framework of Reference level report to you. Okay, so that you can make sure you can check out or you can just find out, all right, what level your students have, all right, according to the CEFR. So we're going to see, this is an example of what we might Sorry, teachers, I'm back. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance for these technical issues. For some reason, my internet is doing this, although the Wi-Fi connection is pretty much perfect. But well, there you go. Sorry, let's move on. I was saying we have um, these reports, and well, something good about these ones is we receive a report or an estimate of the estimated CEFR level of each student. Okay, so that's that's the reports or generating reports is also a very good benefit of using the Cambridge One platform. Okay, something important to mention is in order for you to generate reports, the students should have made uh, digital workbook exercises, unit progress tests, and competency tests. Okay, hopefully those three let's say types of exercises, all right, will give the teacher a better idea of what the level of the student is and what the progress of the student has been so far. All right, so that is a really good point, a really good benefit of you using the reports generated on Cambridge One. Please let me know in the chat, teachers, if you have ever used any reports, okay, if you use them on a regular basis in your classes, or if you are going to start using them, okay, just after watching this session. So please let me know in the comments, all right? Okay, another good point, teachers, is this. This is, again, very important, very extremely important, okay? Empower Second Edition series has a, a, a tutorial, let's say a training online on Cambridge platform. The name of this one is How to Teach with Empower Second Edition. Okay, so well, you can use, of course, these sessions, the one that we're recording right now. You can use this session to refer back to check out the resources you have available in the series. However, the Empower Second Edition is way more detailed, way more a way more thorough, let's say, walkthrough each of the resources in the series of Empower Second Edition. Okay, how do you find or where do you find this this training? Okay, you are going to go to Cambridge One platform. All right, you go to the section that says My Training. Okay, remember, whenever you start your Cambridge One platform, you have My Classes, My Library, My Training. You go to My Training, that third option I mentioned, and there you are going to find a lot of courses, a lot of trainings. Okay, but there's one that has this name: How to Teach with Empower Second Edition. So please, just inviting you teachers, urging you to take a look and use this training that is ready available for you, okay, to use your materials of Empower Second Edition. Okay, now I'm going to move on. Here I am mentioning, or I'm talking about an additional component we have available in the series of Empower Second Edition, which is the Academic Skills Plus. What are you going to find in this Academic Skills Plus? Basically, these are activities, of course, focused on skills. So we have listening, reading, writing, and speaking, okay? Well, that will continue to develop our students' language skills, all right? This one, however, is only available for levels B1, B1 plus, B2, and C1, all right? Those last four levels. Levels A1, A2, unfortunately, they do not have access to this academic skills focus. Only the last four levels do. Let me go through the components of this series of Empower Second Edition. Okay, what components do we have for the student? Okay, so what does the student have access to? This one is for students with access to the digital pack. Remember, the digital pack is the way we refer to the resources they have on the, oh, sorry, one second, please. The resources they have available on Cambridge One for the student. Okay, so of course we have the student book, all right, the student's book. We have the digital version, which is the ebook with audio and video. We have the digital workbook, which are like these additional exercises to practice the topics of the student's book, but these ones are digital. We mentioned the unit progress tests, okay? We mentioned already the mid and end of course tests, which are like the competency tests. Actually, just to mention, the competency tests are only those two. We have one in the middle of the course, right? Mid-course, yeah. One competency test mid-course and another one at the end of the course, all right? So we can use those ones for summative evaluation, of course. Okay, so they are going to be perfect for teachers to give a score or a grade to students. Okay, depending on the progress they made mid-course all the way to the end of the course. Okay, now then we have, of course, access to the class audio. They have access to the workbook audio, and something very, very important that I haven't mentioned is this. They have access in the workbook, okay? The students also have access to what we call, I'm going to zoom in, Vox Pops videos, okay? Vox Pop videos are one particular kind of video we have in the series. Unfortunately, I do not have an example of this one right now, teachers, okay? However, this one or what are we going to find in these videos? They are basically interviews. There's one interviewer, okay, and he or that person is asking one particular question to different people. Like these ones are not animated videos. These ones are live videos, let's say, okay, and the interviewees are answering this particular question. For example, one question can be, let's say, what is your favorite food? What's your favorite food? Okay, so the interviewer goes to one person, okay, and they ask the question. So, what is your favorite food? And well, of course, the interviewee needs to respond. Okay, they might use some particular target language that was covered in the unit. Okay, but well, that when they finish with that person, they go to another person and they ask the same question over and over. All right. In one Vox Pop video, you might find 4, 5 times the interviewer asks 5 or 4 or 5 different people the same question. So the good thing about these Vox Pop videos is authenticity. All right. The people are native speakers and they provide a very natural response to these questions. These ones are, let's say, colloquial videos. So they are informal. Let's say they are natural. This is not like a scripted and a very formal situation. Okay. This one is like a very relaxed and colloquial, as I said, situation. So it's very natural. All right. So it's very cool. Honestly, I really like Vox Pop videos because, well, they offer this natural and authentic language. All right. So, well, those are the Vox Pop videos. Okay. And well, just to make sure, or just to point out, remember that both unit progress test and mid and end course tests, which are the competency tests, are only available to the student when the teacher assigns them through the Cambridge One platform. Okay. Now, okay. Please, if you have any comments, any questions, please leave them in the chat box. My colleague Yosadak will be dealing and answering your questions in the chat box, please, teachers. Okay. Uh-huh. All right. So just to finish this part of the components, we have the teacher's book. Let's say the components for the teachers. Okay. Of course, teachers, what did you receive? You receive your teacher's book with the digital pack. One more time. You can access the class audio. You can access the class video. Sorry, the resource. Sorry, the series videos. Of course, you have access to Presentation Plus. If this is your first time using Cambridge Materials, I just want to point out that what Presentation Plus is. At Cambridge, we like to say that Presentation Plus is the most important tool for teachers in the classroom. Why? Because they help you project with the help of a projector or a television, right? They help teachers project all the books you have available in the series. You can project the student's book, well, with the videos, the audios, the exercises, games. All right, you can present them with Presentation Plus, but you also have access to the digital workbook. You can see your teacher's book there. All right, so that is the benefit of using Presentation Plus. You can use the digital ebooks for all the books available in the series. Now, I want to point out one other resource that you have available for teachers that is not available for students. Okay, let me zoom in really quickly. This fifth bullet point we have here after Presentation Plus, we have this particular kind of program available in the series that is called Video Program. Okay, before I mention what it is and where to find it and so on, please, teachers, leave in the comments if you actually use or if you have ever used this video program, if you had heard of it, or maybe if you hadn't, maybe this is the first time you hear about this video program, which is actually good. Maybe after this session, you might try and use the video program resource in your classes. Okay. Teacher Jose says, I've used it. It's wonderful. And then Teacher Jose Sanchez says, I haven't. There you go. So I guess there was for the previous ones, I guess. And but yes, maybe the video program has not been used so far. Okay, Teacher Ana Lorena says, this is my first time. Teacher Eva Beltran says, this will be my first time using the material, maybe also the first time using video program. Okay, that's perfect. So let me mention what this is. Give me 1 second. Well, just before I move on to showing an example of a video program video, let's say, I'm going to just finish pointing out this part of the digital pack. Remember, the digital pack refers to the resources that are available on Cambridge One platform. So you can find, again, your digital workbook, the unit progress test, mid and end of course tests, which are the competency tests we mentioned. Okay, remember, you need to assign them for your students to see them and do them. You have access to class audio, class video, workbook audio, and that's it, pretty much it. Okay. Yes. Now let's show, or well, let's go over the video program that I am mentioning. This is so going back to the kind of video, to the first kind of video that I mentioned before, the Vox Pop videos. These are not the same. Okay, these are not the same as the Vox Pop videos that I mentioned before. These are a different collection of video activities. Okay, so these ones actually are really nice. And something good is this video program has worksheets for students to work on, okay, to deal with the videos or to work with the videos. All right, these worksheets have an approach of pre, while, post. All right, so well, there's activities that the students do before they watch the video, while they watch the video, and some discussions, some communicative activities after they watch the video using the content in the same video. All right. So again, these worksheets that are available to work with this video program have pre, while, post approach. Now, where are you going to find these videos or where are you going to find these worksheets? of course, at Cambridge, somewhere on the Cambridge One platform. All right. You are going to be able to project the video from the Presentation Plus. Okay. And well, you are going to give the students access to the worksheets. Maybe you can download the PDF of the worksheet that you're going to be using in the class. You can print it out, make copies, and you give them out to students. That can be one option. Maybe you can share this worksheet with students in PDF, like in digital version, and maybe they work with them with a smartphone, with a tablet they use. Okay. Well, the way you choose to use it, it's perfectly fine. All right. So either in a printed version or in a digital version. Now, these videos in this video program, they have more like this, rather than the interviews that we mentioned in Voxpo videos, these ones have a more documentary style. So let's watch one example of this video program videos. All right, here we go. Let's watch it.
Street food. It's a delicious part of city life. There are street food sellers in every country. Their food is fast, fresh, and delicious. You can watch them make the food in front of you. Local people eat their local street food every day. But for tourists, these dishes are new and exciting. So, what are we waiting for? Let's find out about some great street food. We'll start in Brazil. Brazil is famous for pastels. A pastel is made of a thin pastry filled with many different kinds of food. Brazilians fry the pastel and serve it hot. And they eat them day and night. Cheese is in a lot of Brazilian street foods. These are pão de queijo, or cheese bread. And this is queijo coalho, cheese on a stick. People often eat it on the beach. Now let's go to North Africa, to the busy markets of Morocco. There are many different kinds of street food here. One famous dish is babouche, or snail soup. They cook large snails with herbs and spices and serve it in bowls. Or if you don't want snails, there's merguez. These sausages are made of beef and lamb. They're hot and spicy. A world tour of street food is not complete without a visit to Thailand. There are so many dishes to try here, like som tam, a spicy green papaya salad, or kai jo, an omelet with rice and chilies, which is great for breakfast. But the most famous dish is pad thai, fried egg noodles with seafood or chicken, peanuts, chili, lime, and fish sauce. Delicious! So, which country's street food would you like to try?
There you go. So, well, this is the video we mentioned for this video program. Okay. As you noticed, in this case, this example, it talks about the topic of street food, okay, in different countries. So maybe the pre activities discuss something about that, right? Maybe they are questions about what is the student's favorite street food, which country's street food would you like to try at some point? Okay, some discussion, some sharing, and then, well, they watch the video. All right. Maybe we can say, or maybe in the activities, all right, remember these are ready-made worksheets. You do not need to make them yourself, but maybe in the while worksheet or in the while activities in the worksheet, the student needs to check if their favorite food is included in the video or maybe not, okay? So, well, something to do while they watch, right? And well, maybe a final discussion, okay? So what was the favorite food, or what was a street food that looked appealing to you from the video, all right? So more regarding the content that they actually saw in the video. All right, so well, something like that as we said, is what we're going to find in the worksheets for this video program, okay? One more time, where are you going to find these worksheets and the videos of this video program? On Cambridge One, you will download the worksheets for your students to have. You can print them or you can send them in PDF to your students. And the videos, you can project them through the Presentation Plus tool that we mentioned. All right, I'm going to move on. Yes, I will continue now. Okay, all right. So just to finish on this section of the video program, please let me know in the chat box, teachers. Okay, after I am presenting these videos, tell me if you are going to use both types of videos. Remember the Vox Pop videos, the ones about the interviews, interviewing, asking questions to different people in the on the streets. Okay, and if you're going to use the video program that we just mentioned. Okay, let me know in the chat if you're going to use both now that you know that they exist. Okay, so Vox Pop videos and video program. That's it. Okay, I can see teacher Jose Angel Garcia mentioning, oh, yum, yum, I'm hungry, right? Okay, and also I will. Yes, so that is a commitment that teacher Jose Angel has now of using both resources, Vox Pop videos and video program. Okay, teacher Christina says both of them. All right, teacher Evelyn Barron, I will definitely use them. All right, teacher Yadira, yes, I will, of course. Perfect, amazing. Thank you, teachers. Yes, honestly, they are really cool. They're engaging. Well, it brings variety to the class. Okay, it is not like all the time we use the student's book. No, I mean sometimes we have video programs or video activities, right, without the student's book. There you go. So well, it's something cool also for the students. All right, there you go. Okay, now moving on to this part of the unit. Instead of a unit walkthrough, I'm going to just go with a unit overview, teachers. All right. In this slide I'm showing now, we can see the structure, the general structure we're going to find in a unit. Okay. So lesson by lesson. Okay. So if I'm going to zoom in really quickly here. Of course, at the beginning, we are going to find the unit opener. All right. Remember, at the beginning of the unit, we are going to find these beautiful images that will encourage discussion, group discussion, that will pique our students' curiosity. Okay. And well, it will get them discussing from the beginning of the unit. All right. So we start with unit opener. Then, we're going to go with lessons A and B, all right, in the student's book. Both of them focus on grammar and vocab. Grammar and vocab, okay? So usually lesson A will cover some vocab, usually lesson B will cover grammar, and maybe they can switch as well, all right? So depending on units, all right, you will cover grammar and vocabulary lessons, okay? And if you notice, there's also this a moment, or we can see this is a good moment after you check the grammar or the vocabulary lessons in lessons A and B, you can go or you can assign digital workbook exercises. All right. Remember, how do you assign these digital workbook exercises? You assign them through Cambridge One platform. All right. Remember, these ones are focused on grammar and vocabulary only. Then moving on to lesson C, we previously mentioned lesson C, remember? In this lesson, we are going to find functional language lesson. All right, so this one is called Everyday English. All right, so in this one, the student will be using some chunks of language. We'll be using some exponents, okay, to fulfill or to use in a specific situation. Maybe, for example, we can find giving advice. I think we saw something about that. Giving advice. Maybe asking for food in a cafe, in a restaurant. All right. So those we are going to find specific context, specific situations in which, well, the student will receive and will practice and apply some target language, some chunks of language to perform in a specific situation that is very common. That's why everyday English. Okay, and well, of course, here we are going to have a moment again to assign some digital workbook exercises. Maybe it can be listening and speaking. All right, we're going to find those sections in Cambridge One platform. Okay, so when we assign digital workbook exercises. All right, then before we go or before we move on to lesson D, okay, something that is a good idea is to use or to apply the unit progress test that we mentioned. Okay, remember we have two ways to assign this test, this unit progress test. It can be printed. All right, you can download it from Cambridge One. You make copies and you give it out to students, or you can also assign it digitally through Cambridge One platform to your students. Remember the benefit of having the report that you can generate from Cambridge One platform, okay, if you use the digital version. Okay, so before going to lesson D, a good idea is to use the unit progress test. Remember, what are you going to find in the unit progress test? You're going to find the content basically of lessons A, B, and C, which are grammar, vocabulary, and everyday English lessons, okay, the functional language lessons. Then we finish, we do the unit progress test. Maybe we do it digitally. Everything is perfect. We check maybe the results. Okay. And then we go to lesson D. All right. So in lesson D, we have an integrated skills lesson. We are going to find the 4 skills practice in this lesson, in lesson D. So we are going to find some reading task, some listening task, some writing moment, and some speaking moment. Okay, the 4 of them. All right, the 4 skills involved in this lesson of lesson D, like integrated skills lesson. Okay. Oh, something to point out, the emphasis or the main focus of this one is getting a final writing product. Okay, so writing will be the last activity we might find in these lessons. Okay, but the 4 skills will be involved, integrated in this lesson D. And again, some opportunities to assign some extra digital workbook exercises. All right, so we have reading and writing exercises would be a good idea. Okay, so we have lesson D. And then in the student's book, again, you will find a review. You have a review after every single unit. Okay, so we have unit 1 review, unit 2 review, unit 3 review, and all the way to unit 10 or unit 12, depending on the level. Okay, and in the reviews, of course, you're going to have consolidate and check the progress of your students on the topics of grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay, in this case, we are not including skills and we are not including everyday English, only grammar, vocab, and pronunciation. Those 3 aspects will be checked in the review. All right, and then, of course, we have we mentioned we have a competency test at some point. Remember, how many competency tests do we have available in the series? We have only 2 competency tests. Remember, competency tests focus on the skills, the 4 skills. And the intention is for students to do 1 competency test mid-course, okay, in the middle of the course, and 1 more competency test by the end of the school year or by the end of the book. All right, so mid and end of course test available. So at some point, if we reach, for example, unit 5 or unit 6, depending on the level, okay, after you cover those units, we can use the mid-course test. Okay, and after we finish unit 10 or unit 12, depending, okay, we can do the end of course test. Remember, since we have 1 mid-course and 1 at the end, it's a good idea to give or it's useful for summative evaluation. Okay, so you make sure that the students you check the progress of your students. All right, and you can also assign a specific score, a specific grade. And this last part is just regarding additional practice. Okay, so involving the digital workbook, the print version of the workbook. Okay, and some of the worksheets we have available in Cambridge One. All right, so this is like a quick unit overview, as we said, of how you might be using, you might be using this series of Empower Second Edition and American Empower Second Edition. All right, so, okay, please let me know, teachers, in the comments. Okay, please let me know if if you are going to follow some of these suggestions. Okay, if you are going to be using unit progress test, competency test, if you will be assigning digital workbook exercises in a similar way to the way we are recommending it here. Okay, give me one quick second, please. Okay, there's a particular question regarding the access to Cambridge One platform. Okay, while it is down right now, yes, well, we are working on that, teachers. Okay, on finding a way to help you. All right, find your resources, even though Cambridge One is not available. Okay, so we are working. Yes, hard as my colleague Josadak is mentioning, we are working really, really hard on ideas and options for you to have the resources, access to the resources you use on a regular basis by the time or by the moment you start your school year. Okay, so that's, yeah, there's a comment. Thank you very much, Josadak, for answering this question. Thank you very much. Okay, just continuing with this, teachers. Oh, hang on 1 second, please. Yeah. Okay, one more type of activities we are going to find in the student's book. Okay, this is in the student's book, is a section that we call skills extension. You are going to find these in the end of the student's book. Okay, and you have these 4 types of activities. We have Communication Plus, with a focus on communicative activities using the target language, usually for the lesson C moments, right? Then we have grammar focus. So again, you have the rules of the grammar, of the target language. You have some extra practice. You have vocabulary focus, of course, dealing with the vocabulary lessons. And we have writing plus. Okay, so just to as a support for writing skills. Okay, so again, where are you going to find these skills extensions? In the end of the student's book. All right. And just to finish, well, we're about to reach the end of this session, teachers. Okay. Starting in this slide, we have a QR code. Please, if you could help me with this one. This one is an access to what we call at Cambridge activity cards. Okay. In this series of Empower Second Edition, one of the main pillars is Cambridge Life competencies. So we can actually use some of these activities that you will find in this PDF. All right. You are going to be able to use them and apply them in your lessons on a regular basis. All right. Remember that these activities focus on developing the 7 different competencies we have in the framework of Cambridge. Okay, remember we have creative thinking, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, metacognition, which is this learning to learn skill. Okay, social responsibilities, and emotional development. Those are the 7 competencies we are going to find in the framework. So you are going to find a collection of activities, all right, focus on developing each of those 7 competencies I just mentioned. So please go ahead and scan this QR code. This one, as you notice, this one has access to a PDF with the activity cards for adult learners, all right? Remember, we have also activity cards for young learners, like for primary school. We also have activity cards for secondary school for teenagers, all right? And there's this version of adult learners, the one that I'm sharing right now with you. So please, let's moving on to the next QR scanning moment. Okay, this one is very important for you, teachers. Okay, please take a look at this one. This one, or if you scan this QR code, it will take you to a registration site. And after you register, okay, you will receive your certificate of attendance to this session on Empower and American Empower Second Edition. If you do not register, if you do not scan this code, or if you do not go to the link that my colleague Yosadak will be sharing in the chat, okay, you will not receive your certificate. So please go ahead and scan this QR code and, well, go to this website to register in order for you to get your certificate of attendance. Please, teachers. Something important. If you haven't received your certificate of attendance after 5 working days starting today, okay, after 5 working days, please contact the email I just have. I'm showing at the bottom of the website, sorry, of this slide, which is Cambridge English Mexico at cambridgeenglish.org. Okay, and, well, they will be better able to send you your certificate if you registered for this. Yes, if you registered on this link that we shared or on this QR code that I'm sharing. Okay, remember, if you didn't register, you will not get your certificate, even if you send the email to the to Cambridge English team. Okay, so please make sure you register here. All right, okay. And finally, just the last slide I will be showing today, teachers. This last slide I will be showing today is, hang on. Yeah, the one about a survey. This is a feedback survey for us teachers, for the Cambridge team, who makes these sessions possible. Again, my colleague Josadak from marketing, myself as an academic consultant. Okay, so please feel free to leave your comments here, okay? And, well, we will use your comments to improve these sessions. Okay, so please scan this code. Also, my colleague Yosada will be sharing the link to this survey in the chat box. So please go ahead and fill this survey. And, well, we have pretty much reached the end of this session, teachers, okay? Please, if you have any comments, any questions, feel free to use the chat box to leave your questions there regarding the Empower Second Edition or American Empower Second Edition series, okay? And we can go ahead and discuss them really, really quickly in just the minute we have left, okay? Just to point out, remember, you have the training, okay, available on Cambridge One platform. I know Cambridge One is down right now, okay, but, well, whenever it is up and running one more time, you will be able to go to your Cambridge One profile. Remember, you have your 3 tabs: My Classes, My Library, My Training. Okay, you go to My Training, and you will be able to find the How to Teach with Empower Second Edition there. All right, so if you do not remember what was Voxpo Videos, you go and check it out. If you do not remember what was the video program that we mentioned, okay, you go and check it out. All right, how to assign to the digital workbook, how to assign unit progress tests or competency tests. All right, you go and check it out on this training online. Okay. There you go. Thank you very much, teachers. Thank you very much for your participation in the chat. Thank you very much for taking the time to take these sessions today. Okay. And, well, we are very happy to be in contact with you, teachers. We are really happy of you being working with us. Okay. So please let us know if you have any problems, any comments, any questions in this survey link, survey QR code I'm sharing. Okay. And, well, we are about to close this session. Thank you very much, teachers, one more time. It was very nice seeing you, even though, well, it is online. It was very nice presenting this series to you. And, well, see you very, very soon in an upcoming session. Thank you very much, teachers. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day. Closing the session in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Bye-bye.